Welcome to the Virginia Provider Enrollment Revalidation Overview e-learning training. The purpose of this video is to prepare providers for enrollment revalidation with the Virginia Medicaid program. Per the ACA provider enrollment and screening regulations, all Virginia Medicaid providers must revalidate their enrollment information every 5 years. Providers who do not revalidate risk termination of their contract with the Virginia Medicaid program. Revalidation notifications are sent 90 days prior to a provider's service location revalidation due date and are sent via email or mail, depending on the provider's selected preference. In addition, 2 additional reminder notifications will be sent out 60 and 30 days prior to revalidation due date if no action has been taken. By the end of this e-learning training, you will be able to know when your revalidation is due, identify how to begin your revalidation, and understand the key differences between the new enrollment and the revalidation application. Providers can inquire about revalidations in multiple ways. In addition, they receive multiple notifications about their revalidations. They will receive 4 notifications. These notifications include 90 days prior, they will receive 2 notifications, one with their application tracking number and another with their password. In addition to these 2 notifications, they will receive a 60 and 30-day prior notification reminder. The first notification contains an application tracking number or ATN for the revalidation application. If any fees apply to the revalidation, they are specified in this notification. If fees are due, please submit them promptly to avoid any delays in the revalidation process. Also, during revalidation, if you have already been screened and paid the application fee to another state Medicaid agency or CMS, the application fee may not apply to you. Please note the application fee varies by year. The second notification contains a password for the application. Both notifications include the link to begin your revalidation application. Always make sure to use the emailed revalidation credentials instead of starting a new enrollment. Doing so allows most of the enrollment information to auto-populate for users and provides a significant time savings from starting a new application from scratch. If you haven't completed the application 60 days before your revalidation due date, users will receive a second reminder notification along with your ATN. The final reminder is sent 30 days prior to your revalidation due date. Users can check when their revalidation is due through a provider extract spreadsheet found on the MCO Provider Network Resource page on the MES public portal. This extract lists all active, enrolled Virginia Medicaid providers, revalidation dates, and zip codes for related service locations. To access this extract, go to the MCO Provider Network Resource page on the MES public portal via the link on your screen. From this page, scroll to number 3 under the heading MCO Network Provider Enrollment. Next, click the Download Latest Provider Extract spreadsheet hyperlink to download the provider extract. The system returns the extract, which includes the revalidation date in column M. In addition, users can also check when their revalidation is due at any time from their provider portal account. Refer to the Virginia Provider Portal training materials for how to access the provider portal. Your provider portal homepage displays a blue banner 90 days prior to the revalidation due date to notify you that your application is due. Once you close the banner, it will not reappear. To view your revalidation due date, from the home screen, expand the menu in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. Click Maintenance. Then select Revalidation. If you have more than one active service location, select the service location. If your revalidation due date is more than 90 days into the future, a blue bar displays the revalidation due date. If your revalidation is due within the next 90 days, a yellow bar displays with a hyperlink to begin your revalidation process. It's important to take immediate action to avoid risking termination from the Virginia Medicaid program. Please make sure to revalidate as soon as possible to ensure continued enrollment at your service location. The 90-day window to complete the revalidation process includes submitting the application, making any required corrections, and receiving approval. If your contracts are terminated with VA Medicaid due to non-revalidation by the due date, you are given a 45-day grace period to access your revalidation. Once the grace period is over, you will need to complete a re-enrollment application to reinstate your contracts. Please also note, if your contract is terminated, you will still have access to the provider portal for the service location for 30 days before your access is removed. Once you receive your revalidation notifications, Access your revalidation application. You can begin your revalidation enrollment application by accessing the page from either the revalidation notifications or your provider portal revalidation page. If you choose to access the page from the provider portal, please ensure that you have the revalidation notifications on hand for the required application tracking number, ATN, and password. From your notification email, from the provider portal, click the Here hyperlink. The Resume Revalidate Enrollment page displays. Enter the ATN and password from your revalidation notifications. Then click Resume. The revalidation application displays. Revalidation applications are pre-populated with your existing enrollment information, so you do not need to enter all of your information like you would on a new enrollment application. However, you are still responsible for verifying the information and updating it as applicable. These sections highlight some of the other differences between revalidation and new enrollment applications. Similar to a new enrollment application, the information displayed on the progress bar is determined by your enrollment type, provider type, specialty, and other details provided in your application. Please refer to the Virginia Provider Enrollment Training Materials for detailed information on how to navigate through the provider enrollment application and to find out which pages are relevant to your enrollment type. Some fields are only applicable to certain revalidations. If a field is not displayed in your application, it means that it is not relevant to your revalidation. If a field is grayed out, it means that it cannot be modified as part of the revalidation process. If you need to update read-only information, please contact PRSS Enrollment and Management Clerks. Let's go through each potential page to identify the differences between a new enrollment and a revalidation application. Remember, only pages and fields that apply to your revalidation will be displayed in your application. Primary identifying information such as enrollment type and provider type cannot be edited during revalidation. But other provider information that is not grayed out, such as birth date and SSN, can be edited during revalidation. Other information is populated and requires your review. Make corrections as needed. Programs can be FFS only, MCO only, or both FFS and MCO. They are not only MCOs. However, the current MCO programs will display. You may select additional MCOs during your revalidation and upon approval. The new MCOs you selected will be sent your request for review and approval. Your current specialties and taxonomies are listed. If the information has changed, users can add or inactivate the applicable specialties or taxonomies. Any changes made must align with your provider type. Once the specialty and taxonomy information is verified, you will proceed to the Service Address tab. Click the Edit icon to verify the information applicable to your service location. There are no differences in the addresses page between new enrollments and revalidations. Just be sure to verify all information for all applicable addresses. Click the Expand Collapse icons to view all details. Like a new enrollment, you may add, update, or inactivate associations during your revalidation. There are no differences in the associations page between new enrollments and revalidations. If you are enrolled as an individual provider and an individual with any group provider, the associations page will only display for your individual within a group revalidation. On the Credentials tab, please update your license or certification information if it has expired or changed. If it is not updated accurately, your revalidation may be returned for additional information. On the Provider Type and Other tab, please verify and make updates as needed. Electronic Funds Transfer, or EFT, does not apply to revalidation applications. After your revalidation is approved, if you need to add or edit your EFT information, please submit the request through the provider portal. You must review existing self-disclosures and, if applicable to your provider type, the disclosure of ownership and control interest and managing employee information by highlighting and double-clicking the bar associated with the type of disclosure. Clicking the Create New button will only add new information. It does not validate existing information. Once the review is complete, the status will change from new to complete. In revalidating a provider's enrollment, the State Medicaid Agency, or SMA, must conduct a full screening appropriate to the provider's risk level. The risk-based screening requirements applied to a newly enrolling or re-enrolling provider also apply to revalidation. Revalidation includes the disclosure requirements and, depending on a provider's risk level, includes site visits and fingerprint-based criminal background checks, FCBCs. This information only applies to those providers that may be revalidating at a moderate or high risk level. There are no differences in the attachments page between new enrollments and revalidations. Upload attachments until the requirements met column shows complete for all attachments. There are no differences in the fees page between new enrollments and revalidations. Fees only apply to certain revalidations. Your revalidation notification will indicate if a fee is required with your revalidation. The agreement submit page is mostly the same between new enrollment and revalidation applications. However, provider portal registration is omitted from revalidation applications, as you already have provider portal credentials. There are 3 types of provider notifications you may see. Users will receive an email confirming that their application has been submitted. If payment is required with your revalidation and you did not complete electronically, be sure to submit payment as soon as possible. You will receive a notification when either you must take action or notify you that a final decision has been made regarding your enrollment application. The notification is sent via email or mail, depending on the preferred communication entered in the contact information section of your application. There are 3 types of provider notifications you may see. The Return to Provider or RTP notification is issued when the enrollment team identifies corrections that are required or if additional documentation is needed to support the information provided. The RTP includes the steps necessary to correct the issues. If you receive an RTP return to the provider enrollment wizard, resume the application, correct the issues, and resubmit. You have 30 days to resubmit your application with revisions, or your application will be rejected. The second type of notification is a denial notification. A denial letter is sent if your application is denied. The third type is the approval notification that the application is approved, and you will receive the welcome letter. This notification confirms your revalidation for your service location ID has been approved. Let's review what you've learned in this tutorial. You are now able to know when your revalidation is due, identify how to begin your revalidation, and understand the key differences between a new enrollment and a revalidation application. Thank you for completing the Virginia Provider Enrollment Revalidation Overview e-learning training.